Muhammad Ali is widely considered one of the greatest boxers of all time and one of the greatest athletes of the 20th century. Loved by millions around the world, the three-time heavyweight champion was also one of the most controversial figures of the 20th century. Known for his style, speed, agility, and introducing the rope-a-dope tactics inside the ring, it was his charisma, quick wit, and outspokenness outside of the ring that garnered him the most attention. But this charming, handsome, and seemingly irresistible man transcended from being one of America's most despised men to one of their most admired. The values Muhammad Ali exemplified outside the boxing ring enabled him great dignity and respect. He was a crusader for racial justice, religious freedom, and the triumph of principle over expedience. Ali was sport's most outspoken individual during the 1960s and arguably the most influential human being to fight for black rights, equality, and universal freedom. The day after winning the heavyweight crown, he announced to the media that he had adopted the Islamic faith and denounced his slave name, Cassius Clay, in favour of Muhammad Ali. In doing so, he gave the world the first insight to the headstrong and determined man that he was. At the time, the Nation of Islam was considered a black supremacist organisation that claimed all white men to be devils. Ali's denouncing of Christianity and embracing of Islam was contrary to the behaviour expected of a black athlete at the time. He was expected to toe the line and act in accordance to these white expectations, just as Sonny Liston and Joe Louis had done before him. The fact that he was publicly so proud to be associated with a group that was despised by America was an unprecedented revolt and sent a thrill to all those with aspirations for social change. It soon became an indication of one's stance on civil rights, whether they referred to him as Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali. Recognising his new name would be to allow him the freedom to define himself. Ali was the first public figure to denounce the Vietnam War when he refused to step forward and serve his country, famously stating, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." This was less than a month after the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee released its anti-war manifesto, which was the first of its kind, and a full year before Martin Luther King Jr. took a stance against the war. There was very little opposition to the war at this point, yet here was the heavyweight boxing champion of the world refusing to fight based on his personal and religious beliefs. Muhammad Ali couldn't be labelled a coward for refusing to fight, as he had already proved that he was fearless. He had to be taken on face value for his reasons, which were refusing to kill other brown people for the cause of the white man. He stated, "The real enemy of my people is here. I will not disgrace my religion, my people, or myself by becoming a tool to enslave those who are fighting for their own justice, freedom, and equality." He paid an enormous price for his convictions, yet in the words of Ali, there are only two kinds of man, those who compromise and those who take a stand. In being stripped of his title, he became identifiable with the man on the street, thus adding weight to his viewpoints and helping to bolster the groundswell of support for his stance. His resistance has since been praised by almost every civil rights organisation and leader at one time or another. When viewing the legacy of Muhammad Ali in retrospect, there is no doubt of his contribution to racial equality in the United States during the 60s and the 70s. He forced America to accept he was a free black man who would do as he pleased and was not afraid to speak out against injustice and equality as he saw it. The worldwide audience he attracted and the individual price he paid for his stance was unparalleled. Race was the theme of Muhammad Ali's life. He insisted that racism shaped our notions of race, as opposed to the other way around. His voice as a symbol of power and humanity was louder and had a wider reach than anyone else during his time, and his influence has been unequalled since. He was a man without rival in his quest for equality, human rights, and the common future of humanity.